the meeting will please come to order. Good evening, everyone. My name is Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us virtually and those of you who are in council chambers. That's on behalf of all my colleagues here on council. Today is Thursday, July the 2nd, and we are going to begin with our opening prayer by Marilena Rivera.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Padre Celestial, nos hemos reunido para manejar los asuntos de nuestra ciudad. Al hacerlo, le pedimos su orientación y comprensión. Oramos para que nuestra ciudad alcance un lugar de paz y seguridad, que nos mantenga fuera del peligro y bendecir a los que están en autoridad. Que el respeto sea clave en todos nuestros esfuerzos. Amén.
This time we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens,
Here.
Councilwoman Darby,
Present.
Councilwoman Oliver, Councilwoman Harley, Councilwoman Willauer, Councilwoman McCoy,
Here.
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Present.
Councilwoman Bracy, Councilwoman Cabrera, Councilman Hackett,
Here.
Councilman Spadola, President Congo.
Here.
8 present and 5 absent.
This time we're going to have the reading of the minutes of our previous meeting.
June 18th, 2026. City Council met in regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:37 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding. The opening prayer was done.
Mr. President, please accept the minutes as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The minutes be accepted as written on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we will have our committee reports.
June 8th, 2026. President and members of council, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 26-039, entitled an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement for physician/medical practitioner services contract 2603 HRPS between the City of Wilmington and Innovative Work Health Solutions, LLC. Have given this ordinance careful review and recommend council vote on it at an upcoming council meeting. Respectfully submitted, those members of the Finance and Economic Development Committee. Those members present: Councilwoman Bracy, Councilwoman Darby, Councilwoman Oliver, Councilman Spadola. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Harley, Councilman Hackett, President Congo.
Kira, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, I was trying to say present. I don't think you heard me earlier.
Yeah. All right,
I
thank
moved
you.
the committee report. I'm sorry, President Congo.
Yes, I'd like to recognize Councilmember Harley as present. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I moved the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
And just for the record, that was ordinance 26-038.
It's been properly moved and second. The report be received, recorded, and filed on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
June 24th, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, we, your Health, Environmental, Aging, and Disabilities Committee met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 26-042, entitled An Ordinance to Approve the Major Subdivision Plan for Christina Crossing and authorize the city to accept the dedication of Howard Street, located between South Market Street and South Walnut Street, as a public right-of-way, officially named the dedicated street as Howard Street, and add it to the official city map. Have given this ordinance careful review and recommend council vote on it at an upcoming council meeting. Respectfully submitted, those members of the Health, Environmental, Aging, and Disabilities Committee. Those members present, Councilman Owens, Councilwoman Cabrera, Councilman Hackett, President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Willauer, and Councilman Field.
I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
June 24th, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, your Health, Environmental, Aging, and Disabilities Committee met by anchor location and remote participation, to who was referred ordinance number 26-043, entitled An Ordinance to Authorize and Approve the First Amendment to a Professional Services Agreement between the City of Wilmington and Northeast and Bucks Company, trading as Mullen and Lonergan Associates, Inc. Have given this ordinance careful review and recommend council vote on it at an upcoming council meeting. Respectfully submitted, those members of the Health, Environmental, Aging, and Disabilities Committee. Those members present, Councilman Owens, Councilwoman Cabrera, Councilman Hackett, and President Congo. Absent with leave, Councilwoman Willauer and Councilman Field.
I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we will have our city treasurer's report.
July 2nd, 2026, total investments, $557,672,751.26. Total cash on hand, $18,678,935.11. Grand total, $576,351,686.37. Submitted City Treasurer Dwayne Sims.
Mr. President, oh my God, I can't even get out. I'm sorry. I commit the treasury report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Cabrera, who has joined us in chambers.
Thank you.
I will accept the motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. In the way of recognition resolutions, Councilmember Darby.
Yes, if Brendan Cook and his guests can come up. Yes, everyone, the family, y'all come up. I'm going to read the resolution as you guys come up. Whereas, it is the sense of City Council to honor individuals, organizations, and significant milestones that demonstrate outstanding achievement and deserving of recognition and acknowledgement. Councilmember Shanae Darby expresses special appreciation to Brendan Cook as he prepares to transition from his role as a General Director of Opera Delaware. And whereas Mr. Cook holds a Master of Music from the Peabody Conservatory of Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, and a Bachelor's of Music Education from Loyola University in New Orleans, Louisiana. He previously founded the Baltimore Concert Opera in 2008, following the closure of the Baltimore Opera Company. In June 2012, he was appointed as General Director of Opera Delaware, the only professional opera company in the state and the 11th oldest in our nation. And whereas, through his guidance and dedication, Mr. Cook has elevated Opera Delaware's national reputation while enriching the cultural life of Wilmington and bringing distinction to this city. His accomplishments include launching Opera Delaware nationally recognized company artist model, which provides full-time employment with benefits to sustain professional artists. Bringing the 2026 Opera American National Conference to Wilmington, overseeing the successful production of numerous acclaimed performances, and I got to see one, and numerous contributions to upholding the organization's commitment to inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility in pursuit of opera for all. And whereas, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Brendan demonstrated exceptional innovation and commitment to public service by launching Operas Delaware Pop-Up Opera Initiative, which brought live performances to neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, parks, and community gathering spaces throughout Delaware while supporting working artists during an unprecedented time. And whereas under his direction, Opera Delaware has garnered national attention for its immersive opera festivals and masterful productions, including, I probably won't be able to say that one. Right, you know, what language is that? Right. Simir Amidi. Semiramide. All righty. Dead Men Walking and the East Coast premiere of Franco Amleto. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that Council is pleased to recognize you for your contribution to the arts and the culture of the City of Wilmington. We wish him success in all your endeavors as you transition from your role at Opera Delaware. Job well done. Yes, thank you. I allow you to come up and speak. I want to say since the day I met Mr. Cook here, he has been very supportive, offering support to me as a nonprofit executive director, being able to share resources if need be. He said he was always someone to be open to, and then he invited me to come see an opera. And then they sent, a little discount code, so now I can come. So, and I was able to experience, I believe it was my first time seeing opera. So I want to thank you for being able to expand what I was interested in arts and culture. So thank you just for the invitation that allowed me to see that.
Thank you for taking me.
Of course.
Councilmember Darby, thank you, and thank you to this entire body for this extraordinary honor. I want to start with a small lesson in Latin. Opera is the plural form of the word opus, meaning work. So when you honor Opera Delaware tonight, you're honoring not just one person's work, but the collective work of artists, staff, board members, donors, volunteers, and this community, everybody who has shown up year after year since 1945 to make something worth making. This resolution belongs to all of them. The last time I was in this room was as a member of Mayor Perzicki's transition team. And he shared with us that day that great societies are not remembered by the strength of their economies, but by the art they create and leave behind. I've carried those words with me for years because they're true and because they are exactly what we try to prove every time we open the curtain. I'm proud of what we built. Our work has brought thousands of visitors from outside of the region. Our productions have aired on national radio broadcasts. And just months ago, as Councilmember Darby shared, we hosted the Opera America National Conference, bringing hundreds of professionals from across the opera world to this community to show them what we already know. The Delaware arts community punches far above its weight class. Though I've reached the end of my time with Opera Delaware, I'm beyond excited to see what is next for the nation's 11th oldest opera company. I've spent 14 years trying to raise the floor of Opera Delaware, and the board has hired someone, Eric Einhorn, to take my place, who has the capacity to blow the roof off the place. Although I'm not certain what's next for me professionally, I can say this. It was the opera part of Opera Delaware that brought us here to this great state, but it's the Delaware part that I want to focus on for the rest of my working years. This community has given me more than I can repay, and I intend to spend time trying. Thank you again for this great, great honor.
They might have kind words for you.
Oh, what's that?
Council members will have words for you.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Councilmember Carrera.
I just want to say congratulations and thank you for all your hard work. Having worked at the Grand Opera House and Opera Delaware, close together with the organization. It took a while to really educate people about expanding their horizons and getting out there. And I'm glad Councilmember Darby had the opportunity to do that. I remember, attending the opera myself, and my first opera was Le Bohème, and it was great. And I know some people find it boring and they fall asleep through it, but others do enjoy it. So I thank you for bringing that out to everyday people, to make it enjoyable, for the things that you did in the parks, to really making it accessible so that people see that this isn't an exclusive art form for a certain group of people, that everyone can enjoy opera. I remember witnessing Jessie Price, one of our most beautiful African-American opera singers, and may she rest in peace, we recently lost her, but just to really make it accessible to everyone. So thank you and your family for loaning them to it. And I hate to see you go, but good luck on your future endeavors. Thank you so much. I know you'll do great things wherever you go.
Councilmember Owens.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for your vision. And one thing I love about music is it's can go into any community. It can really bring out the culture, and it's a way you get to know people as well, too. So I also want to say thank you for having a vision to take it out into the Wilmington community and expand that opportunity to so many people.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to recognize Council members Oliver and Bracy who have joined us virtually.
Thank you.
In the way of
Thank-
other recognition resolutions, I would like to recognize World Sickle Cell Day. Councilmember Hockett would like to recognize Donald Banks II from Fame Incorporated. Councilmember Oliver would like to recognize the First State Alliance of Recovery Residences. And for sympathy resolutions, Councilwoman Oliver has a sympathy resolution for Nicole Laughlin. At this time, we will go to public comment. We want to thank everyone who signed up for public comment. We do have a few people who are going to comment virtually. Just want to remind everyone that once you come up, to please introduce yourself. You have 3 minutes. Once you have around 45 seconds left, I will give you a reminder to please start to wrap up your comments. If you are representing a district, or if you live in a district here in the city, you can say that, but you don't have to. Our first speaker, we'll go virtually first, is Abdul Hay. WITN, do you see Abdul Hay? No. How about Jamila Davy, who is virtual? All right, thank you for joining us. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Jamila Davy. I'm a constituent in the 5th District, and I'm calling in tonight to ask council members to support the resolution put forward by Councilmember Darby to override the veto of the Housing Trust legislation that you all passed earlier, back in May. The need for resources to address the housing crisis in our community far exceeded by the actual needs. We have fewer resources than there is need, and so I really appreciate the foresight of council to bring forward this concept that could help allow a broader set of experts and community members to set priorities for affordable housing in our community, and then have some oversight about how our resources get allocated. So I thought, I was very pleased when council passed this resolution initially, and hope that you all will, continue to support the idea and make sure that when our public dollars are being invested in housing that is supposed to, address affordability, that we have, mechanisms in place to assure that that happens. So thank you very much. And I hope you will vote to override the veto. Thank you.
All right, thank you. With us in council chambers is Deacon Earl Tate. Thank you for joining us, Deacon Tate. Please remember to introduce yourself.
Greetings. My name is Deacon Earl E. Tate, who's never late because he don't want to lose his pair of roller skates. And I'm here to present to y'all. We can't go back last week to bring back the life that was taken away from us. But what we can do is try to observe and preserve the life that we have here with us, because an officer is put down to protect the rights of the human beings. He have one a gun to take life, two the taser to preserve life. Use the one to preserve life instead of taking life, because we are the ones that are living here now, and we got to preserve life and got to leave life for others to live, and we can't do that but by taking away the life, especially the young lives that have just graduated, started living life, and now they're gone. We got to do something. We got to do something about that. And the way to do that is come together. And live together. Talk together. Communicate. Do things. Work together. Because if we don't work together, and if we don't do things together, we won't be together. And right now is the time, because we see the shape that the world's in today. Stand up, voice your opinion, get out here and vote, cause our forefathers got out there and worked so hard for us to have the right to vote. But now it's our time. It's our time to get out and do it. You the one. We're the one that got to do it. And I want to wish you all a happy holiday and a safe holiday at that. But remember, we're the ones that got to do it. So think before you react.
Thank you. Next in council chambers, we have Lawrence Brannon. Yes, sir. Please remember to introduce yourself and thank you for joining us. You have around 3 minutes. Once you have around 30 seconds left, I'll give you a reminder to please wrap up your comments.
Begin now?
Yes.
Okay. President Congo, members of the council, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Lawrence Brannon. I recently moved to Wilmington from Georgia with my wife Angel and my daughter Miriam to begin my first year at Widener University of Delaware Law School. I am a non-traditional student, and I am also a formerly incarcerated individual. That experience is not something I hide. It is the foundation of why I care deeply about community, public service, and the work local government does every day. Before coming to Delaware, I spent the last couple of years working on second chance initiatives and civic engagement in Augusta-Richmond County. On March 18, 2026, after more than 2 years of work, the County Commission approved the second chance proposal I helped develop to support formerly incarcerated and justice-impacted residents. That experience taught me how meaningful change happens when community members and elected officials work together. As I begin law school, my focus is on becoming the best person I can be for the city of Wilmington and for Delaware as a whole. I'm here today simply to introduce me and my family as new members of this community and to express my desire to contribute in any way that is appropriate. I hope to learn from the leaders who understand Wilmington's challenges and strengths. I would welcome opportunities to observe, volunteer, or support initiatives related to community engagement, second chance pathways, and public-facing city programs. How much time I got left, Mr. President?
How much time left, WRTN? Minute 30.
Oh, I'm doing good. You know, they give me 5 minutes in Augusta, and I can't meet that. Now, with that said, I would like to add that if ever any of you decide to head south, please stop by Augusta, Georgia, and visit the Arts in the Hearts Festival or even the Masters Golf Tournament. I'm kind of working as an ambassador right now for Augusta, just like I did when I told them about the Newcastle Museum. They enjoyed that when I was telling Augusta about the Newcastle Museum, the Courthouse Museum. There's a common saying that many tourists tend to think that Georgia is the capital of Atlanta instead of vice versa, because many tourists come to Georgia only to visit Atlanta and then leave. But if you head through Augusta, on down through where I grew up in Bullitt County, a very rural area, on out to Savannah, on the coast of the Atlantic, we do have some attractions to offer. That's just a thought.
30 seconds.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for your service to the people of Wilmington.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
Next in council chambers, we have Gene Messick. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Good evening, Council President, Council. My name is Gene Messick, and I serve the unhoused in District 4 and now also District 6 and just outside of District 1. A lot of things need to be said today, but the first thing I want to make sure is said is justice for Kadir Skinner. I'm not here to speak for the family, but I want to echo their heart and their pain, both families. John Carney, you need to be transparent with that family immediately. If a black man had shot someone on that night, we would have had the body cam footage next morning, if not the same night. We know the footage exists, release it. The public needs to know. Other thing I wanted to talk about tonight, we've got a resolution to override John Carney's veto of the housing trust. He wants to call it a duplication of existing work. I want to call it a reinforcement of work that is not done enough. The Subcommittee on Housing will provide you with the insight needed to inform years of legislation to improve housing supply and improve services. But it will not create a permanent fund with which to support those services and that supply. We've been giving millions of dollars to developers for over 20 years, every year, year after year, budget after budget, with zero oversight from council. It's time for a housing trust. The other thing I want to say, if your seat is empty in these chambers at a city council meeting, then your seat may as well be vacant. I want to see you show up to these meetings and do your job. We come out here consistently to ask that you do your job and that you support the needs of the residents of your city and your constituents. You've been elected to do a job, come out and do it. And another thing, I don't want to hear any of y'all pointing fingers at other branches of government, because I tell you what, we're asking the same things of them too. This is a reinforcement of existing efforts. We need all of you, all of our elected officials, from Newcastle County Executive to Newcastle County Council to Delaware General Assembly, to the governor, to the attorney general, to Wilmington City Council, all of you, to do your jobs and support your constituents.
20
Please
seconds.
pass the override. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, virtually, we have Adam.
Yep, it's me, Adam. I'm not here to bully you guys. What's happened has already happened. I remember Willauer was trying to just get an amendment happening on the floor, and she just got attacked for it. But now we have a lot of votes coming together, and we have to get past the veto from John Carney to establish a housing trust. I think right now there's a clear demarcation between what will benefit the people of Wilmington and what's going to benefit big business. I'd like to see all 9 votes, at least 9 votes coming together to override this veto today, and I think it's your prerogative. I think it's for not only your benefit, the city of Wilmington's benefit, but I think, Wilmington has a big impact on the rest of the state, and a lot of us are very invested, even if we don't live in the city. I am sort of glad to see that you guys are doing the work to show that Wilmington City Council is not able to meet the needs of the people, because I think at the same time you're teaching people yourselves that we need to stop relying on a lying government. People need to start thinking for themselves, educating themselves on city council members such as Oliver and Bracy and sometimes Harley, who work against people of Wilmington. So I think tonight we gotta, you gotta put your wallet aside. You got your money just for tonight. Try to make a vote that is common sense, will allow you to understand the will of the people a little bit, and it'll give you a chance as city council members to learn something about the people of Wilmington, the needs of Wilmington. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Thank you. Next in council chambers, we have Katie Kent. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
All right. Council, my name is Katie. I'm one of the service providers from Food Not Bombs, Wilmington, and also a member of the Delaware Democratic Socialists of America. Emphasis on Delaware because I am not from New York. As a member of both of these organizations, I have had the privilege of gathering signatures for the Homes campaign with Cheyenne Miller. I have been able to serve those in Christina Park that have a lot less than me. And also, I've been able to see that people in government don't really care about me, or anyone for that matter that doesn't fill their pockets. I implore you to override Mayor Carney's veto of the Housing Trust Fund. I know we need 9 votes for you to be able to overturn this. And if it doesn't pass, anyone who is either absent or votes not to override it will not be seeing their seat next time. So that's it.
Thank you. Next, we have Cheyenne Miller. After Cheyenne, it's going to be Yannick or Yannick. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne Miller. I'd also like to call for justice for Kadir Skinner. And I hope that if you have proposals placed before you to address police reform, that you'll do the work to actually do it and address it. One of the things I'd like to give public comment on is the override of the mayor's veto of the housing trust that was placed before you. It was really, really heartening to see that city council could come forward to pass the housing trust, because it showed that not only do you feel like there is a responsibility for the city to do something about affordable housing, but that we should be putting both our money and ask for the community to come in the form of a board to give input on how that money should be used. And so we are super appreciative of the fact that you guys passed it, and extremely disappointed that the mayor vetoed it. Some of his reasons for vetoing it, I know you guys probably heard before you voted on it. And I'd like to take some time to kind of break some of those down. One, the fact that the housing trust is created without funding is fully a decision that you all made weeks before you voted on the housing trust. There was an amendment on the budget put before you so that you could vote to add money into a housing trust. And that amendment was voted down fairly, squarely. And so since that did not happen, the way that this housing trust would be funded in the future, you guys can decide on how to do that. So it not being funded or not having funding is fully a decision that you all made before the housing trust was voted on. And I think it's super important that we acknowledge that we have an opportunity to figure out how to fund this, but let's set the fund up first. The second thing is the mayor says that this is going to be duplicative of the subcommittee that was created to go under the CEDUP committee. That subcommittee's job is to work on policy, to make recommendations for a year and come up with a report to hand over to you all to talk about how do we address the housing stock issues. And I think that's great, and we super duper need that. But like was said before, that is not a fund. That is not the same thing as a long-term fund whose job it is to address homelessness, whose job it is to address home ownership, rental, all of those things. Affordable housing requires us also putting money up, and it's clear that you all have the interest of putting up money. You gave up $13 million to the mayor. So it would be important that you guys think about how do we do that long-term with this Affordable Housing Trust. I
You have
hope that
30
everyone
seconds.
that voted yes on this bill, thank you, that voted yes on this bill will actually take the time to both vote yes again. And I hope that we gain some votes on it as well, because it's going to require 9 votes in order for us to get it passed. Y'all rarely see me up here this calm and quiet. So please don't disappoint me. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Yannick, and followed by Yannick is going to be Mimi.
Good afternoon. I want to speak in support of the Housing Trust and its accompanying community board. Before I do that, I would like to reiterate another call for justice for Kadir Skinner, that the administration immediately releases the footage to the family. They don't have to deserve it, they demand it, and they should get it. With regards to the Housing Trust, Wilmington is going through several pain points. It has its great sides, but it's got a lot of issues that it deals with. And when we talk about government, either locally or even nationally, we often use combative terms, attacking, defending. And when we do that, I want to look at the Housing Trust and say that even though I'm not an expert, I'm not as eloquent as the people who came up to speak before me, it is, as far as I understand it, an opportunity for the city to very squarely punch the problem of housing and the unhoused right in the face. And I believe they should take that opportunity, make the most of it, and if anything else, if I may be so bold, the fact that the mayor vetoed it may clue you in that you're doing something right. So I appreciate your time, and I hope that you can override the mayor's veto on the Housing Trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Mimi Sabalis, followed by Jonathan Tate, I think. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Spadola, who has joined us virtually.
Mimi, District 1. Carney vetoed the Housing Trust Fund because, I want to quote here, it does not address the urgency, which is putting more housing units into production that are affordable for Wilmington and people looking to relocate into Wilmington. That's from Delaware Public Media. So, too long, didn't read. It doesn't funnel enough cash to your developer buddies. Got it. Okay. So, a trust fund would create a sustainable source of funding for a range of housing solutions. But he says it's duplicative, but there is no duplicate fund. He also complains that there's no funding source. But as I said earlier in an email to council, compare it to building a house. You don't say, oh, I can't do this because I don't have money for my fancy curtains. No, you build the foundation, you build the bones, and then you worry about the curtains later. And that's what this would be, establish the housing trust. So please override this short-sighted veto. Stand up for a lasting solution, such as the housing trust. And please show us, some of you, that you're not just a rubber stamp for the mayor's whims, his misguided agenda. And Mayor Carney, please try listening to the people before you whip out your crusty veto pen. There's a lot to be said here. So please support the override. It is agenda number 199, substitute 2 for ordinance 2619. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan. After Jonathan, it's going to be Dora Williams.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Tate. I am a resident of the First Ward. No known relation to the wonderful Deacon, although I do get a lot of calls and texts by your house. So I'm here today mainly to encourage everybody to vote yes on the veto override and establish the Housing Trust Fund. I mean, we are talking about $1.5 million. Just for comparison, the Wilmington police budget is over $67.5 million, which is more than 45 times the amount that would be allocated to help people for housing. And I think we have to really think about what kind of message that sends to our young people when we say that, even giving them, 1/45th as much help as we are spending resources on trying to control them, that they're not even worthy of that, I think sends exactly the wrong message to the future of our city. And I also want to recognize that, I know that folks are politicians and want to get elected. So I just want to remind everybody that when the Delaware General Assembly unanimously in both chambers voted to override Carney to go along with the will of the people and save Medicare Advantage for state retirees, not a single one of them lost their seat over it, faced attacks over it, or anything. But when one particular representative, Val Longhurst, voted to allow Carney's veto of legal cannabis to stand, she lost her seat just 2 years later. So I think that establishing this trust, it really is good, both good policy and good politics. And lastly, I just want to also stress that this was already the result of a compromise. There's already some money that is being funneled onto the development side. So I just feel like to say that a veto of the compromise is okay is basically to let yourself get steamrolled by someone.
30 seconds.
Yep. just wrapping up, to someone who clearly does not have the power to oust people for going against him. And one last thing, I just want to stress that the housing crisis really is a crisis. And I was fortunate enough to be able to buy a home in the city, but that is not the experience of most people my age. I'm 30 for reference. So on behalf of millennials and Gen Z, just please help us out. Please throw us a life raft here and vote yes on the veto override. Thank you.
Thank you. Dora Williams. After Ms. Williams, next speaker will be Say. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, President Trippy Congo and the council. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. I'm not going to be before you but a couple of seconds, I guess, maybe a little bit more, but not much more than that. But I do want to thank our President Congo and Sinead Darby for being at the meeting regarding the young man that was killed. And I would like to thank you for how you voted by the trust. You've done very well. I think that the February Black History Month did a lot for all of us. I think it brought in justice. It brought in truth. And I think you need to follow that, because when you don't follow that, things get pretty bad. And I think they're getting pretty bad as right now. You've had 2 incidences with the police, and we have still have the housing crisis. We still have the tax. We still need police reform. It's getting pretty bad. And I would think that you would want to do what is right and what is just. And an older lady, older than me, said to me once, she said, I need to tell you this. I said, what is that? She said, a lie will go all over the world while truth and justice is still putting on their boots. So I want to say that I believe the city council is still putting on their boots, but I do believe that they can override the veto. They can do police reform. They can do what the people need to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Say. After Say is going to be Alex, followed by Helen.
Good evening. I'm going to start by saying that my heart is broken for our city. I want to call for justice for Kadir Skinner, and I hope that the mayor reconsiders and steps up. I also am a lifelong learner, and I believe in listening to people who are smarter than me and might have other views. So I'm going to quote Hubert H. Humphrey. The moral test of government is how that government treats those who are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the elderly, and those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. You know that the temperature in our city is very high right now, and I am not talking about the weather. I have witnessed what leadership looks like this week. I have witnessed what it looks like where it's lack of leadership. I know that some of you are remorseful because of the police reform that was not able to be placed, and I heard some of you say, I wish we could have done more. This is the time for you to do more. Do not find yourself later saying, I wish somebody would have told me that I should have voted for a housing trust. Because you can't go back. You cannot go back in time, but you can do the right thing now. This mayor will not look after you. He will throw you under the bus at any chance he gets. Our economy is not getting any better. The citizens of the city are very angry, and it's not going to get any better. Do not let him do that. You are the people who are connected to every citizen here. You are the ones that are in the streets, and if you are in the streets like I am, like some of you are, then you know the temperature is really high. Thank
You
you.
have 30 seconds. Thank you.
Please, do not let this go unnoticed. Vote for this override. And do not let him blame you later when the citizens of this city need something from this housing trust and you cannot provide it to them because the money is no longer in your hands. You have the ability right now to put this money in your control so that you can decide what your citizens need. That is what you are here for. Don't let them down. Thank you.
Thank you. Before our next speaker, I'd like to make a motion to extend public comment past 7:30.
So motion.
Second.
So probably moved in second. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next is Alex. Thank you. Please remember to introduce yourself. After Alex, it's going to be Helen and then Lip.
My name is Alex. I live in the at-large district, but I've been volunteering in Christina Park until they evicted everyone. There's a question that's been going through my head for the last couple of days when my friends and I were distributing water and bus passes. Why was it that unpaid volunteers were the ones telling the unhoused where the cooling centers are? Why did no one on Front Street actually know where to go as of Wednesday? When I drove by the park, I noticed that the fence was still up. Wasn't it supposed to be open last week when they finished cleaning it? And if, theoretically, the encampment served its purpose, why are there still people sleeping in tents and on literal concrete? And now this administration is refusing to release the body cam footage of what sounds like to me is the execution of Kadir Skinner. There's one word that comes to mind when I think about Mayor Carney's actions, and that is contempt. The actions of the Carney administration show contempt for the poor and working class of Wilmington. Their message is clear, and it's that they hate us. You, our reps on city council, have power. I urge you to use it today and override the veto of the Housing Trust. While I'm at it, please do everything you can to get justice for the Skinner family. I want you to treat John Carney the way he treated the residents of Christina Park last month. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Helen, and then Lip, and then Tony.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank the people who put this ordinance together because it shows a sensitivity to some really big issues. Homelessness and first home buyers not being able to afford to buy a house. But I also have a problem with this. I do think it's important that we focus on homelessness, the unhoused, and focus maybe in a different way on first-time buyers and affordability for buyers. when we start out by saying, whereas Wilmington faces, whereas Wilmington recognizes, I think we forget that the whole state of Delaware faces an affordable housing crisis and homelessness. It's just that these problems all seem to come to Wilmington and ask Wilmington to solve the problem. What about the suburbs, the red line, the zoning out of low-income housing? All those wonderful progressives in the suburbs will not let it in their backyard. And I ought to know, because I come from there, and I've heard them all my life. Why should Wilmington have to carry this burden? Now, this is a nice idea on the surface of it, but this is very important to me, lumping together the homelessness and the unhoused in that group with first-time home buyers, I fear this could be the recipe for growing a bureaucratic dinosaur that does not deliver the benefits we need to deliver to these groups of people. Let's just take homelessness for a moment. In that category, and by the way, I live at the epicenter of the opioid industry. You know, where 7th comes in and 8 goes out, where West goes north and Washington goes out. I live in the middle of that. It's a tragedy about Kadir Skinner.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
You know how many tragedies of murders happen right around my home? I would like to say with homelessness, you have a group that has been targeted, they're addicted, they're sick, they're mentally ill, and they're allowed to just sleep on the sidewalk. They have refused the mental help that's offered to them. This is a complex issue, okay? I would recommend that the Delaware State Hospital and Christiana Care open up their grounds for a homeless encampment because they have a cafeteria. They have doctors everywhere. These people deserve
Please
that
wrap up
help,
your
but they
comments.
also have to know they need to go there for that help. I can't say enough about this issue, but I would say, Carney, he needed to veto this. This is not the way to address the issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, ma'am, you
No.
dropped your racism behind the podium. Point of order.
Please be respectful of all people who give public comment. Thank you. Next, we have Lip Bentley, followed by Tony Dunn, and I believe that Abdul Hay might be in council chambers with us. Okay, he'll be after Tony Dunn. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President, City Council, thank you. I'd first like to reiterate the calls for justice for Kadir Skinner and for his family. The body cam footage needs to be released immediately, and I'd like to echo Councilmember Darby's calls for a outside independent audit of the Wilmington Police Department. It is far past time for that to happen. And I'm from the 6th District, almost a lifelong member. I also, for on and off for about the past 10 years, I've spent time helping to feed the homeless in Newark, in other areas of Newcastle County, but mostly in Wilmington, where I grew up and I now live as part of Food Not Bombs. And I'm asking, well, I also wanted to tie into holding the police accountable and also John Carney accountable. Y'all are the most democratic branch of our local government. You are most responsive to the people, and I appreciate that you are, because John Carney only cares about the power elite of Wilmington, the rich and the powerful. He doesn't care about most people in this city, and his actions have spoken very loudly, where a lot of the propaganda in the news, he said a lot of things that aren't true about y'all as a body and about those who care about the less fortunate, the homeless people in our community. Please, please, please override his veto of the housing trust. I think other people have said better than I can say why it needs to be override. I would just like to say, several years ago, I had the experience of helping take care of a friend who experienced some really awful domestic violence, was involved with the local DA's office to prosecute the abuser, had 2 amazing children. They were evicted by a local slumlord, tried to fight in the court, no luck, tried to get help from, I believe it was the victim's advocate with the police department or the local DA, no help from them. If it wasn't for myself and many of our friends helping to pay for their housing, they would have been out on the street. The mother tried again and again to get housing and had absolutely no luck. Having this housing trust is, a little bit to help ensure that something like this does not happen. So please override that, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Next, we have Tony Dunn, and then our final speaker this evening will be Abdul. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Tony Dunn, 2500 Civic Association President. I want to first thank City Council for their press release yesterday. That really touched the people of the city, especially in my district and districts around me. I represent poor people because I'm poor. I thank those that came out today, early in the morning, 9 o'clock. Kobe, Alexander, we appreciate y'all coming out, because when y'all come out like that, you show us you care, you concern. So I want to echo that and keep doing it, because that teaches and shows us that you haven't forgot where you come from. And we want to thank Crump and his legal team, because now they're here. And we're going to get some justice for the Skinner and the Dollar family and the communities that they come from. That is important. The housing piece, I know you guys going to do the right thing. We don't even have to really say much more. The vote is already almost done. It's only, 2 more? I'm quite sure y'all can reach down and collectively do the right thing. But when it comes to our community, we're not celebrating 4th of July. We're mourning a loss, a deep loss. 19 years old, getting shot in the back. Not standing spraying a school, but running away. I don't care if he got shot in his buttocks, wherever in the back he got shot. He didn't deserve that. And I'm from both sides of the tent, because I have a son that was accused of shooting somebody. He got life. I have a son that died under the hands and the disrespect of police officers just recently, February the 21st, and have gotten no justice at all. So I want people out there that don't feel the pain of having to bury a child.
30 seconds.
How it feels. You never get over the hurt. The Skinners and all those that are part of the Skinners family will never get over that hurt. When you lose a son and you bury a son, how many of y'all ever had that experience? Think about it. We're hurting now. Things are going to change drastically. And I'm asking City Council to put that extra hand out and help poor people stay in the city of Wilmington.
Thank you. And our last public speaker this evening will be Abdul Hay. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself. You have 3 minutes. Once you have around 30 seconds left, I'll give you a reminder to wrap up your comments.
First off, I want to tell everybody I'm sorry for being late. Now with that, my name is Abdul Hay. I stutter. I built something called Voices Still Speaking. I'm the one that's going into the kids' school. I'm letting them see me. I'm letting them hear me struggle. I want them to know that I build the confidence. What I'm doing, they can do it as well. The problems, we always going to have problems. We need to talk about solutions. Everybody is hurting. My child is 12 years old. When that child died, I lost my child. That's how I felt. What I'm doing right now, I'm doing something for the future. I need your help. We don't want to lose any more child. Everybody takes a loss when one person takes a loss. What are we going to do about it? That's why I built something called Voices Still Speaking, and I need your guys' help. I'm going into the schools and I'm talking with the youth. What we did, as far as taking that loss, we don't got to keep on taking it. Let's be more involved in their children's life. I can't do it without you guys' help. I was that same person back then. That's not who I am today. I was out there before. That's not who I am today. We can change. Somebody has to go get them. Somebody has to show them a better way. Y'all can do it. I'm here to help y'all do it as well. And I want to say that I apologize for being late again. My name is Abdul Hay. I stutter. I'm still speaking.
Thank you. Councilmember Owens.
Yes, thank you, Council President. At this time, I would like to request that we take a moment of silence in remembrance of Kadir Skinner and the Skinner family and the Dollard family. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to go to legislative business. Councilmember Darby.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to call for the vote to override the mayor's veto on June 18th with respect to substitute number 2 to ordinance number 26019 as amended that passed by council on June 4th.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. And call for a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Today is simply like not a vote on whether to override a veto. It's a vote on what kind of city we want Wilmington to be. This housing trust has been nearly 4 years in the making. During that time, I worked with members of both administrations, county council members, members of the community, housing advocates, legal counsel, and many others to develop and strengthen this ordinance. It has gone through multiple drafts, first and second readings twice, 2 committee hearings, numerous meetings with both administrations, and repeated opportunity for council's feedback. Throughout that process, I remained open to suggestions. I have made many amendments because my goal has always been to build the strongest legislation possible. So I appreciate every council member who took the time to ask questions, offer feedback, and engage in meaningful conversation before today's meeting. I think it's important that we talk about what this legislation actually does, right? First, it creates a permanent housing trust fund. Permanent. Not temporary, not we put money aside for affordable housing. No, this creates, it codifies, it makes it permanent. Whenever housing dollars become available, whether through city appropriations, state funding, federal grants, private philanthropy, developer contributions, or future dedicated revenue sources, those dollars have a permanent home dedicated exclusively to affordable housing. A housing trust fund isn't successful because it starts with millions of dollars. It's successful because it creates the legal framework to receive and grow housing investments over time. If the concern is that the fund needs more revenue, then our next policy discussion should be identifying additional revenue sources, not rejecting the framework altogether. A fund cannot grow if it does not exist. Second, this legislation creates a permanent housing trust fund advisory board. This is not another council committee. It is not the housing subcommittee, as we know that does something completely different than what this legislation is asking for. The housing subcommittee is a temporary legislative body created to study housing issues and provide recommendation into a final report within 1 year. The advisory board is permanent, codified. It exists as long as the housing trust fund exists. It will bring together representatives from the administration, city council, housing professionals, nonprofit organizations, and community members to review projects and make recommendations. That means the people most impacted by housing decisions finally have a permanent seat at the table. We do not have that now. Thirdly, this legislation creates shared governance. Today, affordable housing decisions are largely controlled within the executive branch. We approve the budget and then let the administration do whatever they want. This ordinance changes that. Projects funded through the Housing Trust Fund must come before City Council for approval by resolution after review through the advisory board. That means the administration no longer has sole authority over how housing trust fund dollars are invested. And we saw what happened in the budget. Instead, decisions become a shared responsibility between the administration, city council, and the community. That is transparency, that is accountability, that is good government. Fourth, this legislation creates long-term sustainability. Administration change, council members change, priorities change, right? So I'm not going to be in this seat forever. We all are not going to be in this seat forever. But the Housing Trust ensures that Wilmington's commitment to affordable housing remains in place regardless of who is in the mayor's office and who serves on council. Housing policy becomes institutional, not political at this point. There has been concerns that Wilmington is too small to have a housing trust. No one is arguing that Wilmington would generate the same level of revenue as Newcastle County or Philadelphia. That isn't the standard. The question is simple. Should Wilmington have a dedicated, transparent, and accountable place for affordable housing dollars whenever they become available? I believe the answer is yes. And 6 other colleagues believe that on June 4th. So let's see what happens tonight. Communities across the country have already adopted this model. So we know Newcastle County has a housing trust, Burlington, Vermont, South Burlington, Vermont, Eugene, Oregon, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. And some of those places I list are cities of similar or smaller than the city, have lower population than the city of Wilmington. They all recognize that housing investments are stronger when government and community work together. Finally, I want to speak from the heart. Over the last several weeks, our city has experienced far too much violence. We mourn children lost to gun violence. We witnessed shootings throughout our neighborhoods. Most recently, our community has struggled with the police shooting of a teenager. Each time we gather, we offer condolences, we release statements, we say we're sorry, but our responsibility cannot end with our words. If we truly want safer communities, we must invest in the conditions that create safer communities. Housing is one of those investments. Housing is violence prevention. Housing creates sustainability. It creates opportunity. It helps families remain in their neighborhood. It gives children a foundation to succeed. This housing trust will not solve every Wilmington problem. We're not saying that. But it's a tool. we have to strengthen neighborhoods, expand affordable housing, increase home ownership, prevent displacement, leverage additional investment, and improve quality of life. Today, we have an opportunity to move beyond words and take action. The city charter gives council the authority to override a veto because there are times when council may conclude that legislation should move forward despite the mayor's objection. We have the right to do that. So after 4 years of work, countless meetings, revisions, collaboration, I believe this is one of those moments. So today is about more than creating a housing trust. So I hope that I still have the support of the 6 people who said yes to a housing trust on June 4th. And I also am hoping that I have 2 more people today, 9 people to be able to override this, override the mayor's veto so that we're able to keep the housing trust so that we can start having permanent solutions for affordable housing and that we are involved in that decision making. We're currently not involved in it. So this allows for everyone to be at the table. So I'm open to, it's going to be questions. You're going to hear council members come up with these excuses why they're not supporting it. So I'm ready to hear it. Let's go.
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor, Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I do want to say that I am one of the 6 who initially voted for this. I had questions. I've already had those questions and posed them to not only Councilwoman Darby on the floor, but then also kind of made her aware through a text. The questions never went away, but I had to look at and see the fact that I voted yes because I needed to see the framework. I will still support it because the framework does need to exist. Funding, we still need to figure out funding. Funding is still paramount. We got to figure out what you're going to put in there. But I am going to support it again because we do need to begin with the framework. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that.
Councilmember Johnson.
Similar to Councilwoman McCoy, you know, this is, I've talked to the council member who sponsored this. I had a lot of questions, as I said, during the budget hearings about what a housing trust was. To her credit, I learned more. I do believe, as Councilwoman McCoy says, it's about the funding. And I don't want to give false hope to the public because it's still going to be a battle. Because even so, if the veto gets overridden, the mayor can still choose not to implement or can make it very difficult. So there's got to be a lot of tense conversations we have to get this set up. And then private industry has to be involved at the table too. Private developers have to be at the table for this. We need their money. The corporate community is going to have to be involved. So there's going to be a lot of players at the table because the government doesn't have enough money. So we're going to need everyone at the table. But again, we got to start from somewhere. So I'm definitely supporting this.
Councilmember Hackett.
Thank you, President. You asked me as a co-sponsor.
Seeing no other questions, clerk, please call for the roll.
I think somebody had their hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Willauer.
Thank you, Council President. Yeah, I know that it was vetoed by the mayor, but I just think it's a good idea. Council passed this because we thought it was a good idea. And that night that we passed it, County Councilman Hollins was here and we gave a recognition. And I just want to, tonight acknowledge him again. Like his idea for bringing housing trust to Newcastle County has had this huge impact over time. And it's not an idea that's just stayed the same. I had the opportunity to serve on the Housing Advisory Board for Newcastle County. And it brought together, Renee Spruill was served as the chair when I served there. And she was just this amazing leader from, who had a chance to lead that group of people and have people work together and have voices that weren't just, the department in Newcastle County have an input on the development of how the trust fund, what kind of issues it would focus on and how the money would be spent. And then the decisions, it brought some level of transparency to where the funding went. So I just saw this program in action in Newcastle County. I saw how it evolved in terms of what it focused on based on what, community feedback for what the priorities need to be. And I think those are all values that that Wilmington needs to have in our approach to this issue of housing affordability that's facing like way too many residents. So I just, I'm hoping we can override the veto and that we can work with the administration and just, I hope that the administration can also acknowledge that, we have to work together. Nobody knows all the truth. And when you have more perspectives, you can get more information, you can see more things, and you can come up with better decisions. So I'm hoping we can work together tonight as a council and pass this.
Thank you. Councilmember Harley.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. President. So first of all, I want to say that I appreciate all the different comments that were shared on tonight. But there was one comment that was made that the executive branch or the administration is just doing what they want as it relates to this $8.4 million, and that's just not true. When I heard that this particular ordinance was voted down, I immediately worked with our staff to work with the law department to put in some parameters as it relates to the $8.4 million to make sure that parameters were in place for eligibility for the developers or applicants that are applying for this money. Not knowing anything that this was going to be vetoed, there is legislation being worked on to make sure that one, that it will be a collective, it will be a conversation, an agreement between the administration with council, along with this subcommittee, and I believe in the housing trust. But this version of this legislation is what I think could be streamlined in a way where there could be collaboration. But again, as I said, I already started working on legislation to make sure that council, that stakeholders, that the community, that we all could have input into this legislation because there are some items under the priorities that are concerning. I reached out to the sponsor and I let her know last night I wanted to have a conversation about this. And so I just wanted to make sure that it's clear that there is legislation being drafted to make sure that parameters are going to be in place and the executive branch will not be deciding solely on who gets these dollars as it relates to the affordable housing. And again, the same night that this legislation was voted on, we had a subcommittee voted on as well. Now, granted, it is not long term, but we can always amend this legislation that we're talking about that is vetoed. I just believe it's in the best interest of the community as well as our city overall for us to collaborate on a piece of legislation, including the sponsor and including the council members that are in support of it. So everything that was said tonight, as it relates to do we need an affordable housing trust? Yes, I do agree with that. I do agree that the council should be in collaboration with the administration as well. And there is legislation that is on the table right now that we are working on. So I just wanted to clarify that this is not money that is sitting out there that the executive branch or the administration, I heard executive branch, I'm not sure what branch that is, but the administration will not be deciding solely on this. Council will have a say at the table, and the legislation that's being drafted is to make sure. So I wanted to share that with the sponsor on last night, but we didn't get a chance to talk. I know it was a long day and there was a lot going on. So saying that, I'm definitely going to consider how this is going to play out tonight because I think we should work collaboratively together versus trying to overturn a veto because we do have more work to do for the city of Wilmington that's in the best interest of the community and in the best interest of our city. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, God.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's just start by saying I do support a housing trust. Councilmember Darby and myself have been in conversation about 90 minutes worth the last 2 days, going over, understanding her legislation, also understanding the opposition. I want to see something that can move forward, as was said by Councilmember Harley. And as Councilmember Johnson said, we could pass this, we can overturn the veto, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that the administration would have to implement it. I would like to see something that we can implement. In the meantime, we have passed legislation. We have put funding in to address many of the issues that are being addressed in the trust fund. What the trust fund does is it codifies it, and that's one thing that Councilmember Darby and I clearly, to understand that it's not just about having the programs, which we do have in place right now, that we did vote in the budget, but to codify it. So with that, my suggestion to Councilmember Darby was that if we could go back to the drawing table, make sure that we put something in there for the funding, understanding that the funding doesn't have to be there, that we build it and it will come, but to also have something more solidified than just a name, to collaborate so that we're not working against each other, so that we can have something that is supported by the administration as well as this council, versus battling out, yes, we want this, no, we don't want this, overturning vetoes. So at this point, I am in support of the Housing Trust. I will not be voting to overturn the veto. I do believe that we have more work to do here, and I will be collaborating with Councilmember Darby on whatever we can turn this into so that it does pass and we don't have opposition.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilwoman Cabrera kind of stole my comments. I was initially one of the no votes, not because I don't support a housing trust, I do. I just think that sometimes we do things and we aren't as collaborative as we could be. And and the sponsor has been working on this a very long time, and I appreciate the work. I commend the work. However, once the mayor vetoed, we have a precedent not too many months ago where a piece of legislation, a very important piece of legislation, rental escrow, was vetoed. And what that sponsor did was marched across the hall to the mayor's office unannounced and took her legislation and said, what do I need to do to make sure that when I introduce this again, because I am, it's going to pass. And then she called all of us, similar to what this sponsor has done, but she made sure that she worked with the people that actually have to implement it. So I, too, had a conversation where I suggested the same thing. Let's do it. We should have a housing trust. I don't think there's anybody on this council that is against having a housing trust. What I am in favor of is making sure that it aligns with the $13 million that we've already passed. We already have started this with the budget cycle. So let's make sure that we're in alignment with everything that we're doing instead of doing things piecemeal. And let's work with the people that are paid to actually implement it. We have seen this happen before where we've passed legislation, we've passed ordinances, and previous administrations did not take it up. And we don't have an enforcement mechanism to make the mayor and his administration do anything. So it behooves us to actually work across the hall with them and make sure that we have a housing trust. And oh, by the way, maybe take some of that $13 million that we just passed last month and infuse that into the housing trust so we're not starting at zero. So I will not be voting for this override. However, I am also willing to work with the council member to make sure that we push this across the finish line. And it doesn't have to take a long time. The councilwoman that had her veto in 2 weeks was introducing a new piece of legislation. Not only did it pass, it was signed immediately. So I know we can do this. I just think we need to do it the right way.
All right, thank you. Hold on 1 second, please. Councilmember Nathan Field.
Yes, I want to second Councilwoman Bracy and Cabrera's general comments. I think the concept of the housing trust is interesting and compelling, but I don't see a reason that this needs to be voted on tonight. I think a lot of work needs to be done, could be done, And to add to Councilmember Bracy's comments, I mean, mayors have vetoed plenty of legislation. This is not the first time or the 10th time that this has happened in the 5 years that I've been on city council. And there's a very good example of a recent veto where the council member walked across the hall, worked with the mayor's team, and came back and got it over the finish line in a way that it is win-win and collaborative for everybody. So I think there's something here in this ordinance that is worth pursuing, but I personally am not willing to override the mayor's veto tonight unless there are far more conversations and efforts to bridge the gap between the mayor and the sponsor.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Darby.
Yes, I would like to clarify something about a few things that are being said. Collaboration did happen. Since I've been with the new administration, I met with Daniel Walker several times about the housing trust. I had emails back and forth. My first piece of legislation actually had inclusionary zoning in it because Penrose Highland actually told me that it had to be together. Daniel said separate them. We separated them. He sent amendments. I have email proof of us going back and forth. We had several meetings. So so I would behoove you to reach out and ask the sponsor what conversations have they had with the administration. I had plenty of conversations with Daniel Walker from the administrative office. I had plenty of meetings with Bob Weir. I had plenty of meetings with other departments. So I would behoove you to reach out to the sponsor before you come here and vote to actually ask what they have done, because what you're doing is spreading a classic lie, and you feed into it that I don't collaborate when I email, text, and call, and all you do is text me back, and you did not recommend what you said that you recommended. So Councilmember Cabrera answered the phone. We sat on the phone together. So I appreciate you. We had our conversations back and forth. So you are telling the truth on this floor. But for the other people who are sitting here have not. And I'm asleep by 9 o'clock. So don't call my phone at 9 o'clock trying to have a conversation when I've been trying to talk to you over a week, Councilmember Harley. So what I want to say is that I have been collaborative, because I actually thought this administration was different. Because under Mayor Mike Przicki, I had a hard time. So one of the first things I did, I had 1,000,000 meetings with Dane. They're probably over me, how many meetings I have in that office with Marshall Bass Knight and Elijah Simmons on all my legislations. So to sit here and lie, act like it wasn't collaborative, you are a liar.
Councilmember Hackett.
Thank you, Council President. The only problem that I have here tonight is, I sit here and I listen to all my colleagues tonight, and the first thing every person said was, the city of Wilmington needs a housing trust. I'm just not trying to understand how we get from the city of Wilmington needs a housing trust, and now because the mayor vetoes it, we come back and we say, oh, well, we got to do some more work. We got to figure it out. We got to go back to the drawing board. How many drawing boards do we have to go back to? I'm just trying to figure out, there's been plenty of times where we have the opportunity to make a budget amendment. If you want to put money in there, we got the opportunity to do so. I just feel like today, we have had so many opportunities to stick together as a council. This one time we talked together, everybody in this council, I done heard y'all say that y'all want a housing trust. I'm not sure how much we're gonna go back to the drawing board, we're gonna sit down and then possibly not get nowhere. But what we can do is we could start, just like Councilman Johnson said, we could start somewhere today and then move forward. Sometimes you gotta start somewhere and it's not gonna always be perfect, but we can get better. The people in the city of Wilmington need something. So I don't know where we go with this, but I just can't keep sitting here every step of the way and we keep telling each other, we gotta do more work. We gotta go back to the drawing board.
Thank you.
The one thing I will say, hold on. Because I don't want to sit here and lie. The one thing I will say about Darby, she sends calls, texts, emails. She sends out every piece of legislation, everything that comes out.
Please tell the truth.
No, I'm just saying, just to all council. If you read it, if you reply back, that's on you. And I'm not saying it in no harsh way to nobody, but at the end of the day, we all have enough time. And even if, we could be sending in amendments today. If you felt like there needed to be any changes. If you, hold on. You had your time. Hold on. I'm just saying, if you needed to change any situation or any of this ordinance, we shouldn't be talking about it here tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. President, my hand has been up.
Yes, Councilmember Harley, followed by Councilmember Bracy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So first of all, I want to say, I don't want to get into any negativity back and forth. Councilmember Darby, you and I had a conversation on the phone, and I shared with you about the legislation. You may not have remembered, but there is no lies told here. We had a long conversation, and I did mention about the legislation, and I did reach out to you, and I told you, I said
That
that
was
I
for
would get back with
Tish.
you.
That was for Tish,
Everything
not
that I
you.
told you that I would do, I did it. So I debunked that fact on record that I'm a liar.
That was
I
for
could be called a
Tish.
lot of
That's
things,
not
but a
you.
liar, I'm not.
Councilmember
So I
Harley.
debunked
Bracy is a
that.
liar, not
We
you.
talked on the phone, but nonetheless, I also want to mention that I wanted to do a floor amendment. You cannot do a floor amendment on a veto. So the one thing that I want to make very clear is that this is nothing personal. And when I say collaboration, I'm not saying you never collaborated. That is not what I'm saying. When I spoke, I told you that I wanted to talk to the administration and the two people that voted no. I did those things. And the feedback that I received is why I share what I shared tonight. So no lies told, but as it relates to moving forward, we can decide to move forward with this particular legislation. But hey, if we have to decide that we need to amend it later on to do what we need to do or to work more collaboratively, if there are areas in the legislation in this version that needs to be amended, we can do it. But the one thing that I don't want to do is to continue to sow seeds of division, because it is not about sowing seeds of division. It is about us coming together and working together in unity. And that is what I want to do. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
I'm just going to say this because the back and forth is stupid. I am not calling you that you don't text and email, because you do. And we did text. No, we did not talk. But in the text, I said, I am not opposed to what you're trying to do. It's the how. I think similar to McCoy, which is what I said tonight, when she incorporated their feedback into the new ordinance, it not only passed, the mayor signed it, and it wasn't a start from scratch situation. So we did talk about that. No, we weren't on the phone, we were on a text, and I just read it. I'm not saying that you're not collaborative. I'm not saying that you didn't reach out. What I'm saying is my opinion, just as Tish's opinion, is that once the veto was issued, walk across the hall, figure out the same way you were talking to Daniel before, talk to Daniel and figure out how do we fix this and how do we get this passed. Because what I
did. I did.
Councilmember Bracy, I'm sorry, Councilmember Darby, let Councilmember Bracy finish, please.
This was my suggestion. So if you did, great.
All right, going to go back to the sponsor for final comment.
We could
or
just call
maybe
for
not.
the vote. At
Councilmember
this point,
Owens,
it's just so many
you-
excuses. It's sad.
Councilmember Owens. Then we'll
Thank
go to
you,
the sponsor.
Council President. It's been a long debate here tonight, and I'm not going to lie. It's not very often that I'm confused when it comes to this council, but I am thoroughly confused right now because I've heard my council colleagues say tonight, oh, well, there's no funding associated to this, so this is an issue. But when there was an amendment to put the funding up before the structure was ready to be voted on fully, that got voted down. Now the structure is ready to be put up. Now people don't want to support that. But since it was brought up by Councilwoman Harley, the $8.4 million, that money was voted on by all of council in the budget, and then now I just heard that there's structure being worked on after the fact, right? So I'm just confused what the difference is. I would think we would want a foundation, a structure there first to make sure that it works, and then we can have the conversation on whether or not we can fund this and at what levels. Now, I have heard the housing subcommittee brought up multiple times. That is a year-long committee, then it will expire. If you want to wait until after that, we're missing the opportunity that in FY28 we go to the bond market. So if we wanted to do capital projects, which stuff like this would qualify for, which I know our finance committee chair knows this would be the time we would go to the bond market to make sure that we could fund a committee like this if the structure is already set up. But if we're going to wait 12 months from today, or 12 months from June when we pass the subcommittee, we're going to miss that window yet again. So I am confused what the issue is at this point. I really am. I've heard each and every one of you talk about housing being an issue. We should have a housing trust. This establishes that.
All right,
There
thank
has
you.
been multiple meetings had. Multiple meetings had. We've met with county council about this as well too.
Yes.
From 2025.
Kobe, are you finished your comments or not yet?
We,
sorry, Councilmember
we
Owens.
as a council have to stop playing this game. Because y'all talk about the need for housing in the city of Wilmington, and it does take time to get money into a fund like this to be able to leverage that money with corporate dollars so that we can actually meet the needs of the people. But if we keep pushing it down away, our residents, the people who actually live here right now, they won't have any more affordable options. That's an issue that we have to deal with as a council right now. We have to stop passing the buck alone. I've heard so much double talk tonight. It's insane. It's insane. Can't we come together as a council and do one thing together? It's sad.
All right, we're gonna return back to the sponsor for any final comment, then we'll take the vote.
Yes, no. So this is simple. There has been collaboration for 2 administrations. I reached out to the administration through the first 2 years of me being on underneath them, with Elijah and Marshall being on those meetings plenty of times and on those emails. So it has happened. Afterwards, I emailed them twice. They ignored my emails. There's nothing I can do to force the administration to work with me after I'm reaching out twice. So I just want to say it's simple. It's a housing trust. It's permanent. We need money for our money to put into it. We'll figure that out. We'll get the money in there, but we have to establish. Y'all already said no to the money being in there, but now we're just going to establish the framework. That's all we are doing is establishing a framework. We are not doing anything else. The legislation isn't complicated. It is not. But it might be complicated if you don't know what executive branch is. But we have to do the right thing tonight. And I'm asking for you guys to do the right thing. So we're going to call for the vote, Council President.
Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola?
No.
Councilman Hackett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera?
No.
Councilwoman Bracy?
No.
Councilman Field?
No.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
No.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
And no.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
No.
8 yeas,
It's not no.
5 nays.
Undeclared defeated. Council, we're gonna change up the order. We are going to go to Councilmember Johnson at this time.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-055, agenda number 0258, whereas on March 10, 2026, Barnes & Thornburg LLP on
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea, nay vote.
Second.
This is a really a
It's been
housekeeping.
properly moved in second that the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by yea, nay vote on the question.
This is really a housekeeping matter. I know we are on the subject of housing all this evening, but this is another important step to move forward as a city. There was a rezoning application introduced in April by a developer And this has been, those of you who have probably received a response, we know there was a town hall a few weeks ago. Planning department continues to work with the community and listen to the community. So this is really a housekeeping measure, as there's official time clock of 90 days for the planning department and planning commission to consider the application. I don't believe it's ready yet. So we're extending it a little bit more so that everything can be prepared. The planning department has a chance to talk to everybody and move forward. So everyone should be supportive of this. Even if you're not for the project, you should be supportive of this, as this gives the planning department more time to be involved. Thank you.
Seeing no hands raised, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola? Councilman Hackett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
12 yeas and 1 absent.
Declared adopted. I'm going to ask that Councilmember McCoy come and chair the rest of the meeting.
Council President, can I be dismissed? Can I be dismissed?
No.
Yes.
You better do it before I get up there.
Yes, you need this. And Councilmember McCoy, we're gonna go back to Councilmember Oliver's legislation.
Okay.
Don't forget to look this way sometimes.
Thank you. Councilman Oliver?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-056, agenda number 0257. Whereas high-quality early childhood education is a cornerstone of educational equity, economic mobility, workforce development, and community well-being.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and adopted by a yea, nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote. On the question?
Yes, Ms. President, this resolution expresses Wilmington City Council's concerns regarding the relinquishing of the federal Head Start grant by Wilmington Head Start. To cut through the chase, the federal government, historically, Wilmington Head Start, Inc. operated 3 destination locations, a total of annual budget of approximately anywhere from $4.85 million to $5.10. It's a part of a broader network that supports over 1,400 preschool seats statewide, which represents approximately 20% of eligible Delaware's preschools. I've read about this a couple of times in the paper and on the news. Federal government cut a lot of their funding, and it's a head start in the 3rd District on Governor Prince, and I stopped by there and talked to a couple people, and they were very upset that daycare has been there for years, and it was utilized by a lot of single parents and parents in general. So I just thought it was, and there's no fiscal impact. So I just thought it was only fitting for us to send something to Delaware's congressional delegation, just seeking some transparency regarding the grants and just to see who's advocating for the continued availability of Head Start services in the city of Wilmington. And it's not just here. The transition from federal programs in Kent and Sussex have also been affected. in August of this year, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right. Clerk, call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
I'm also present.
President Congo?
Yes.
12 yeas and 1 absent.
Yeah. I'm
Declare
asking to be excused, please.
Declare adopted. Where are we with our quorum? Just one moment.
You just went off, yeah.
We're good. Okay, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance number 26-038, agenda number 0243, an ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement for physician/medical practitioner services contract 26037 HRPS between the City of Wilmington and Innovative Work Health Solutions, LLC.
Yes, Madam President, I move that it be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the yea and nay vote.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that it be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the yea or nay vote. On the question?
Yes, Madam Chair, this ordinance authorizes the execution of an agreement contract between the City of Wilmington and Innovative Work Health Solutions, LLC, for physician medical practitioner services for the period of 2 years from July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2028, with the possibility of 1-year extension thereafter on the same terms and conditions.
Any other questions? Okay, Councilman Owens.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. We are past the July 1st date, so does that need to be changed or? Never mind.
Councilwoman Harley, did you have a response to that question?
I'm looking, let's see, for 1 year. We don't have a parliamentarian. I'm going to say I think we will be okay. If not, we can do what is needed. However, when this was drafted, we knew that our meeting was going to be tonight. So I'm just saying I think we're going to be good.
May I comment?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Councilwoman Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I remember asking this question because I too did see that date and they said it was okay.
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 Thank you very much for your answer. Did you have,
Okay.
you have anything?
Thank
to follow?
you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Please call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola? Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
10 yeas and 3 absent.
Declare adopted.
Okay. Madam President, I have one more ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Okay.
Ordinance number 26-042, agenda number 0251, an ordinance to approve the major subdivision plan for 501 South Walnut Street, Christina Crossing, and to authorize the city to accept the dedication of Howard Street, located between South Market Street and South Walnut Street, as a public right-of-way, officially named the dedicated street as Howard Street, and add it to the official city map.
Madam President, I move that it be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the yea and nay vote.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded that it be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the yea and nay vote on the question.
Yes, Madam Chair, this ordinance approves the 501 South Walnut Street Christina Crossing major subdivision plan and authorizes the city to accept the dedication of Howard Street as a public right-of-way and 0.18 acres of territory surrounding Howard Street, to add Howard Street and the surrounding acres of territory to the official city map and officially name the dedicated street, Howard Street. It's basically a paper street right now, and this is basically bringing it back online.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions? All right. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola? Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Councilwoman Cabrera.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
11 yeas and 2 absent.
Declare adopted.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Cabrera.
Madam President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance 26-043, agenda number 0252, an ordinance to authorize and approve the First Amendment to a professional services agreement between the City of Wilmington and Northeastern Bucks Company, trading as Mullen and Lonergan Associates, Inc.
Madam President Pro Tem, I move that that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that it be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the yea or nay vote on the question.
Yes, this is an ordinance to authorize and approve this amendment to the service agreement between the City of Wilmington and Professional Services. It's basically some housekeeping, but what they do is they provide additional technical assistance with the city's CDBG, Home, ESG, and the HOPWA programs for the years 2 through 5 of the agreement, as well as technical assistance for the city's Home ARP program during the second year of the agreement.
Okay. Is there any other questions? All right, clerk, call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
11 yeas and 2 absent.
Declare adopted.
Madam President Pro Tem, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-057, agenda number 0259. Whereas pursuant to Wilmington Charter Section 8-205, the city may sell or exchange any real estate belonging to the city or grant any license, easement, right-of-way, or other interest over or in such real estate with authority by general ordinance or later resolution from council to do so. And whereas City Code Section 2-625A provides the disposition of real property that is rehabilitated through funds obtained by federal community development block grants, CDBG, shall be done upon the recommendation of the mayor and the approval of city council.
Madam President, I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. The resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote. On the question?
As stated, when the clerk read, we are disposing of this property, and basically this is residential structures that will be rehabilitated by the funds that were listed here. And it will be sold as properties to low or moderate income households.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other questions? Okay, I actually wanted to ask to be added as a co-sponsor. I did get a chance to have questions at the CDOT, the Community Development Urban Planning meeting, and when I found out that we were actually disposing these properties rather than just selling them off quickly, we were making certain that we rehab them and then make them affordable. I definitely was in favor of this. So thank you for bringing this forward.
Of course.
Okay. Okay.
My hand is up.
Yep. Councilwoman Oliver.
Thank you. I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor also. And I too spoke to Tom Ford and Bob Weir, and I'm glad to hear that this is definitely for affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, please call. Oh, Councilwoman Willauer. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I have my hand up.
Oh, Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I would also like to be added as a co-sponsor. I think this is the right direction, and I think this is a good piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Willauer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say that this, legislation coming in front of us and having the chance to see what's happening and discuss it and ask questions, that's transparency, that's accountability, and, it's great to see and have a chance for a council to weigh in on these kind of decisions. And I think it gives the public a better understanding of transactions that the city's engaged in. So, this kind of oversight is what the Housing Trust would have given us for, affordable housing investments going forward. And that was one of the reasons why I supported it. I just think it's really important that that decisions about the use of taxpayer dollars have a system for transparency.
Thank you. Were there any other questions? Okay. All right. Please call for the roll.
Councilman Spadola.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera.
Yes. Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy.
Yes.
Councilman Field.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver.
Yes.
And Councilman Owens.
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
11 yeas and 2 absent.
Declare adopted. We're going to go now to Petitions and Communications. I'm going to start back the regular way. Councilman Owens, I hope you sound a little bit more enthused.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say we are in a heat wave, so please, everyone stay hydrated. There's cooling stations all over the city of Wilmington. I know in my district, the Resurrection Center at 34th Street is open during the day, during the extreme heat, if you need somewhere to go to cool down. Other than that, please just be safe in this weather.
Thank you. All right. Councilman Oliver. Is she still on? Okay. All right. Councilwoman Harley.
Oh, yes, Madam Chair. I just want to say that this weekend there are going to be quite a few festivities and activities going on. So for those that are looking for things to do, there's going to be a number of things going on downtown. And at the same time, be careful, stay hydrated, and look out for those seniors that that may or may not have family that live alone. I think it's very important. I have a couple of seniors that live in my district that live alone that did not have any fans or air conditioners, and just stopping by and checking on them, I found that they didn't have it and was able to make sure that they got some fans. So check on your seniors that you know live alone and don't have family visiting them. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, Councilwoman Willauer, did you have anything?
Nothing tonight, Madam Chair.
Councilman Johnson?
Just I thought Councilwoman Harley would mention it, but the big 250 event is on July 4th on the riverfront. It's a partnership between the RDC, many other community organizations, and Out and About magazine. It's all-day festivity, so there's going to be free admission to the Children's Museum. A lot of kids' activities. They're going to have hot air balloon rides. And then, of course, music. There's going to be a lot of local bands. So it's going to be all day from 2 p.m. And the grand finale fireworks are going to be at 10:30. So I will be down there, and I definitely implore all to bring family. They are going to be closing the Market Street Bridge early, so be very cautious with getting down there. I'm not sure about park and ride, but definitely the bridge will be closed because of the fireworks. Fireworks will be near the Salvation Army. So that's just some traffic tips, but pay attention to the RDC's website for more parking directions. But look forward to seeing everyone there and be safe.
Thank you. Councilman Field?
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
You're fine. Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes, just wanted to announce that our summer block parties powered by Play Streets launched this Tuesday. We started in the 1st District with Councilman Owens, and we had a great time. It was a great turnout. We had a lot of fun. There was lots of food. Mr. Dixon was on the grill. So our next event is Tuesday, July 7th at 2200 Monroe Street. So all are welcome. We'll be out there every Tuesday throughout the summer in a different part of the city from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And we're also including some movie nights in partnership with the block party. So come on out. Next Tuesday, the 7th at 2200 Monroe will be our next Play Streets block party.
Okay, thank you. All right, Councilwoman Cabrera?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to elaborate on the celebrations of Delaware 250. As we all share mixed emotions and feelings and opinions on how this country came to be and our founding forefathers, aside from the fact that we still are fighting for equality and we're not there yet, we still are the greatest nation. And we're celebrating 250 years of that freedom come this July 4th, when one of our very own, Caesar Rodney, signed the Declaration of Independence as the last signature that we needed. So we invite people to come out. Delaware is doing a lot, as mentioned by some of my colleagues. I just want to elaborate. First, it's free, family entertainment, a lot of things. It starts at 2:30, but a lot of stuff is going to be happening at 4 o'clock and on. There's going to be 3 stages of music. There's circus, water guns. The Delaware Children's Museum will be open. The mini golf. The Kalmar Nickel will be doing tours. There'll be food, vendors. You pick whatever kind of music you like, you're going to find it. The Tubman Garrett Park is going to have a stage. Iron Hill, Taco Grande, that area is going to have a stage. The Dravo Plaza is going to have a stage. And at 10 p.m., you get to see a fabulous fireworks show, which they're going all out this year for the 250, as our Delaware Symphony Orchestra performs. So definitely hope that, people come out and enjoy this free entertainment. Yes, it's going to be hot, so maybe, just come out a little later in the day and bring lots of cooling water and things to drink. So with that said, that's all that I have. Oh, one other thing I did want to say, that I just do want to thank you, my colleagues, the community, and everyone for your prayers and support during a time that, we had a personal emergency in my family, as with my son. And I'm just very grateful for all the prayers, because he definitely is recovering in a way that we did not imagine. So thank you so very much.
That's great to hear. Councilman Spadola? He's gone as well. Okay. All right, then, I'm going to make my announcements before I go to President Congo. I actually have quite a few things I want to.
Madam President,
Yes.
I don't have anything tonight, so you can close out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just wanted to acknowledge both a birthday, which is a great thing to celebrate, the 100th birthday for Ms. Irene Christopolsky. She is the mother of one of our former firefighters. They're Browntown residents. Her birthday is actually today, and she turned 100 years old. I thank the staff for being able to get that resolution out as quick as possible because I just found out yesterday. So I thank you. On the flip side of that, I actually want to give, my condolences to the Taylor family. Jaron Taylor is the 16-year-old that actually passed away just a few days ago before Mr. Skinner did. And as his family, the Dollards and the Skinners are mourning their loss, there's other families mourning losses here within the city as well. So I just wanted to make certain that the Taylors know that that they're in my prayers. I'm thinking about them, that this is a young man who used to visit my house regularly. So I just want to make certain that they know that we acknowledge them. The other thing is I wanted to state that the Toy Story 5, oh my gosh. So Toy Story 5, we are doing another movie day. I shared that flyer and it went so fast and I felt so guilty that people were trying to click on and it sold out that I said, oh, Parks, I'll do another since it sold out so fast. Sold out like an overnight. Like I think I put it on 10 o'clock at night. It was sold out by the morning. So we will be doing a movie night on Monday for Toy Story 5 at Penn Cinema. Unfortunately, it's sold out. But it's so popular, we might see whether or not we can do another. I would love to be able to partner with some of my colleagues. The other thing is I wanted to make certain that people were aware of is that Delmarva is going to be doing an event at MSK on July 7th. So July 7th between 4 to 7 p.m., Delmarva will be coming to the MSK Community Center, like I said, 4 to 7 p.m., and they will be going over credits. So there are a lot of people who probably haven't gotten that opportunity to get credits for their Delmarva bill, and we want to make certain with the energy being as high as it is, and right now we probably got all of those ACs cranked up to high. I want to make certain everyone gets a chance, the opportunity to come out and I'll take advantage. And as a matter of fact, I believe there's another one the following day with Councilman Hackett. Do you recall where is this going to be? At the library. Okay. Thank you so much. So Councilman Hackett is actually sponsoring one the very next day. So if you cannot make it on the 7th to MSK Community Center, go to the library the very following day. So with that, I think that is all that I have to announce. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carried. Enjoy your evening.